Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be starting a new reading vlog based on summer reads. Now, initially I got a set of library books for the purpose of doing this summer readathon hosted by a bunch of booktubers like Liv's Library, and I kind of forgot about it and then I just didn't do it in time. So I was like, you know what, I have these books checked out, might as well read it before I have to give it back to the library. The next book is the one I'm actually reading first, and that's going to be Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Not gonna lie, I'm very excited for this one. I'm already like a little bit into it, and I am thoroughly impressed. Basically, the vibes of this book is equating to People We Meet on Vacation, also by Emily Henry, just because the idea that we had these childhood friends who somehow became lovers, and then they had a falling out. Fast forward many years later, they reunite for some weird reason, and it's all about kind of rekindling that forgotten flame. Basically, I didn't expect this book to be literally like 300 pages, but I'm honestly so glad because I need something short and quick, fast-paced that I can just read really quickly, and I'm hoping this will deliver. I've decided not really to read these simply because I just not in the mood for them right now. I don't know why. When I initially picked it up a while back, I was thinking like, oh my god, this is my first time reading a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and then I can get back into Emily Henry because this was literally the book of the summer last year and everybody loved it. But I don't know why, like right now I'm just not feeling it. So I probably will not be reading it in this video. Other than that, I think I want to also do more journaling just because I need to do more. I'm honestly so proud of myself for the journaling I've done this year. This year has been like so successful, at least for journaling for me. I wouldn't say I've been doing as much as some other people have been doing, but in terms of like my own standards, it's been like pretty good because I have filled out at least like I think 15-20 pages worth. I'm probably over exaggerating a bit, but like that's quite a lot for me, especially considering I was never able to really do it much because I just wasn't consistent with it, which wasn't the best, but I'm happy I am now. This is kind of like my trial run year because I'm kind of testing out what works for me, what doesn't, and then I'm hoping next year I'm gonna buy like a proper bullet journal from like Notebook Therapy, because then it just feels like, you know, I have what I want to do down and then I know where to go with it and what to plan, and everything will just hopefully work out easier, and I feel like I've earned the right to buy the Notebook Therapy book. Also, they're very expensive because I have to ship internationally. We have duty fees, shipping fees, international conversion rates. It's nuts. I usually save that only for the special UK editions of books, but it's okay. Bullet journals can fit that agenda too. We're going to start with Every Summer After, so let's get into it. Okay, so update for Every Summer After now. New location to film, which is kind of interesting. I'm basically using my bookshelf as a stand. So essentially I am kind of in the middle of chapter 6 now, page 60, and honestly, it's a vibe. It's going so good right now. I didn't imagine myself liking it as much as I am, because when I thought of this book similar to People We Meet on Vacation, I was like, it's gonna be slow pacing, it's gonna have not very interesting characters, but this one, so much better. And I like that it's really fast paced, but one thing I have to say though, oh my god, there's a mosquito in my room. I'm gonna be staring at it the entire time. But what I was saying is that what I like about this book is that it moves along so much faster, and I feel like a lot of things are just told better. Although the writing I would say is very simple, it's such a page-turning read just because it reads like a good rom-com. And I feel like that's what you want with a simple beach read that you could read in one sitting. You want it to move fast, you want it to be engaging, you want it to be lighthearted and fun, romantic at the same time, and I'm getting all these vibes. And it's just incredible. The one thing I have to say though, in the beginning, I think it's kind of fair game for me to say this, is that her and Charlie already met up in present day. And considering they keep emphasizing that they had this big fallout that basically destroyed their whole friendship, you would expect them to have a bit more time, or at least a bit more hostility towards each other before actually having a meaningful conversation, but they kind of just jumped right into it. Now, I'm not sure how it's gonna work out, but like, it's kind of odd considering they just like resumed where they left off, you know what I mean? And I was hoping, or at least thinking, that they would have had a bit more, you know, tension and like, what's it called, like distance between them before they actually started like connecting again. But you know what, we'll see how it goes. Maybe it's just like a two-faced thing, like they're pretending it's okay on the surface, but deep down they're like super hurt by each other. I don't know. That mosquito is not going away. I'm going to do something to it once I turn off this clip. But I am excited to continue this book, honestly. The one thing I really want to figure out, though, is with library books, is how do I annotate or record my thoughts on this book? Obviously without physically marking it, because I have to return this. And that's something I really do need to consider. When I do, I will let you know. Let's continue reading. Okay, so I figured now is a good time to update. I don't know why I keep updating in the middle of a chapter, but oh well. So I'm on page 153 now, on chapter 10. It's kind of crazy. Last time I updated, I was like starting chapter 6, now I'm on chapter 10, like 100 pages later. These are giant chapters, but honestly, really good so far. I'm actually enjoying it. It's currently thunderstorming, which is why it looks so dark all of a sudden. But besides the point, lots of progress made on this book, and I'm very happy with it. Honestly, the one thing I'm getting at is like, these characters almost have no personality outside of them just having some sort of romantic like interest in each other for so long, and yet none of them are really like getting to the point of telling each other, and it's been like years since they started having it, and it's very obvious. Now, my thing about how Sam and Percy started to reconnect all of a sudden with no explanation why, it's still happening, and I'm very confused. I literally think this is like people we meet on vacation. It's gonna do the thing where it reveals the whole fallout at the very end of the book, which honestly is kind of pointless, because I feel like if you want to understand where the characters are at mentally and at least psychologically, it's good to at least explain some aspect of their whole issue, but haven't gotten that yet. But I think the story is really cute. I think the next time I'll update will be when I finish. I will likely just binge it all while I drink my tea, because it's raining, it's cold, and the sun is literally about to come out now. What a coincidence, but oh well. Let's continue. Let's give some updates. I've officially finished Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I feel like I should have expected this. I didn't like it that much in the end. I feel like the beginning set up the book to be really, really good. But then in the middle, it was a lot of like repetition and like not much actually going on that made the plot advance or gave any indication what was really going on or trying to solve anything. It was just there. It's so weird because it's like almost how I felt to People We Meet on Vacation, but in the exact opposite way. It doesn't make sense, but like what I mean is that the beginning was good. It was fast-paced, engaging. They start off the book really strong, and then the middle, like I said, not much going on, and then the end, it just felt very illogical the way some of the events were kind of strung about and how they tend to explain some of the major conflicts between the characters. It just didn't make sense to me. Similar to People We Meet on Vacation, they saved basically the big issue that split the whole relationship apart till the very end. And at that point, it just doesn't make sense because, like, what's the point of like saying it to the end? And like before they had all this like good moments between each other, it just didn't make sense to me. And the whole issue, actually the issue itself that they had made sense, but they didn't talk about it. So even though prior to the whole reveal about what Percy did, especially with Charlie, it made it seem like it was actually Sam's fault involving their whole split, because he just seemed very checked out of the relationship, especially when he went to do his like summer internship thing, and then like in university, it just like very much seemed like he was majorly at fault for that. And then somehow it got shifted to Percy being at blame because then he found out about the whole thing that happened. It's just a big mess. Honestly, I felt like if the order of events were written a bit differently, it would have made the story a bit better in my opinion, because structure-wise, it feels very backwards. I feel like things should have happened earlier in advance, given more time to really flesh it out. My biggest issue, I think, is that I really don't get how these two have a personality, Sam and Percy. The only thing I got for them is that they are like the bestest of friends and they have no inclination to really inch the relationship forward because they're scared. That's literally it. I don't know if they have a personality at all. It doesn't seem like it outside of that, outside of each other, which makes it very flat to read. Like, it's fine in the beginning because you're just starting the book and you get an inkling of like what it's gonna be. And I was hoping it would have picked up a bit more in the middle in the end. Clearly not. However, I don't know why I said however. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Lower than People We Meet on Vacation, because at least with that book, there was some more structure to it. The characters at least had some personality, and I felt. And there was just more depth to the story that could have been added. This one, you know, it felt very one note. You know what I mean? Okay, so that basically concludes my video for Every Summer After and this general reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for my next one. Honestly though, I think I'm planning to get back into fantasy because I started reading Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and that's a very well-beloved fantasy romance book. And then I'm considering going into The Fourth Wing and like other type of romance books like that, but that's the idea. Stay tuned for the next videos, and I'll see you next time. Peace.